Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are live in Studio 109. I'm your host, Jamie Dorley, and welcome to the Jamie and Joe Show. The co-host, the one and only, the godfather of nutrition. Welcome back, Joe Messino.
We are back, and this is the longest-running episodic duo healthy talk show anywhere on the airways. Multiple-time winner of...
The most entertaining.
Absolutely.
That's when I always learn the best on being entertained.
Yeah,
so you're going to entertain us today, Joe?
Oh, you know it.
So we're excited. This is Q2. We're coming into the summer months, springtime. The weather's changing. We talked about bone joint inflammation, which potentially leads to immune dysfunction and a much higher risk of allergies. Do you hear about people now, my allergies, I'm allergic to grass and wind and everything outside. It's like people have a lot more allergies than when we grew up, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, the immune system has gotten a lot of attention over the last few years. And what I think everybody fails to realize is that an allergic response is a misfunction or a malfunction of the immune system. So they're interconnected.
Yeah, and your immune system's like your defense. We live in Pittsburgh, a football town, of course, and they talk about having a great defense. And, you know, when you have a strong immune system, you can handle a lot more things coming at you. However, if the influx of stress, right, is overwhelming, or a combination of that plus the immune system is running a little bit low, you know, often people say, oh, you're run down. Be careful, you're going to get sick, right?
Right.
Because your body's trying to keep up with all the energy demand. Think about stress people are under nowadays.
And stress is one of the single most debilitating factors when it comes to both your immune system and therefore allergic responses.
Yeah, think about technology. It's supposed to allow us to work from anywhere, but now we have to work from everywhere. I see people at the beach on their phone and doing laptops and stuff. I'm like, you can't do that here. So, folks, we got to make sure we have a strong immune system. We're managing our stress, especially stress that we take on ourselves. And we also need to look at our lifestyle program, right?
Oh, sure. It's all about lifestyle program. And lifestyle program is probably one of the key factors when it comes to stress.
Yeah, one of the best things you do is laughter. It's the best medicine, they say, right? So let's talk a little bit about how the immune system works. What are some of the nutrients you can use? Some of the dietary solutions that you can have. I remember Doc years ago taught me that asthma, very common these days.
Right.
The two causes of asthma are going to be dairy allergies, right, and low vitamin C.
There it is.
So something as simple as Air Max or a Cherry Chews or a Buffered C Plus, and removing dairy from your diet. So just a reduction in dairy, maybe it's creamers from coffees and those things, that could probably pay for the vitamin C. Right?
Absolutely.
So you're going to find a solution because the underlying cause of the asthma is what?
Underlying cause is an allergic or an immune response. Right, absolutely. It all goes back to your immune system. And if it's not fortified to handle these environmental or dietary factors, well, then your body's going to respond.
I love it. We have some great formulas. We took our immune kit and put it all together with Dr. Lori Roman and created the Immune Boost.
Yeah.
Right. The Immunomax, one of our original formulas in a capsule or chewable, has some really cool trademarked patented research ingredients like the maitake PD fraction of mushrooms, and we also have things like DMG in these. If you want a straight D3, we have it. Also having some combinations, and of course the Buffered C. Why is that one so special?
Oh, Buffered. You know, if there's one vitamin that everybody can relate to, it's vitamin C for so many different things, for your immune system, for just life in general. You know, cardiovascular, it covers every gamut.
Yeah, and the Air Max is really a unique, innovative formula that is a comprehensive solution where it has some of the key ingredients, right, that we're looking for, like quercetin, right? It has some key ingredients like zinc in there, and we're really looking for things that are going to help you in there, especially the Benny gut.
Oh,
That's a PRT we're going to talk about in a little bit, but that will actually go to the core underlying cause of your issue and help rebalance the T helper cells. So there we go. Benny gut. Right on cue, Joe.
Oh, perilla leaf extract. So, you know, there's a lot of things out there that can affect histamine levels. And, you know, histamine means that's your body's response to something invading, one of these invading factors, right? So, but instead of just, you know, you have the usual suspects, which by just happen to be in this formula too, But we went a step further. We didn't stop there, did we, Jamie? You have to have a PRT in a formula like this, and ours is Benegut. This one is an amazing natural antihistamine in the body.
Yeah, what I love about it is that it'll go to the underlying cause. Because the histamines are just a release of the mast cells, like a big balloon that blows up, and then the histamines are released. So what the Benegut is actually do is going to where the mast cells are being produced, and it's going to rebalance the immune system. So now you don't have that feeding process going on, right? Once it's like a scale. Once it gets out of balance, it feeds forward. You get it back in balance, dial it in. You don't have the mast cell building. You don't have the histamine release. So go on the underlying cause. But
food product.
That and also the DMG, the dimethylglycine, actually a U.S. patent on modulating the immune system and the treatment of inflammatory disease, rheumatoid arthritis. Goes back to the core underlying inflammatory process, Joe.
Absolutely does, Jamie. And you know what? It's an adaptogen. What does that mean? That means that it'll adapt to whatever function or process in the body that needs it. If you need killer cell activity, macrophage activity, if you need natural interferon produced in your body, if you need antibodies to a foreign invader, that's where it'll go. It knows, it has an intelligence, it'll go there and help with the immune system where it's needed.
Yeah, and the thing I love about quercetin is that this formula has been excellent for lungs, sinuses, allergies. You actually studied head-to-head against a drug for inflammation.
A drug called cromolyn, and quercetin won.
Incredible research on this. Yeah. The thing I love about the PRTs, and there's so many of them, sometimes I forget, these patented research trademarked ingredients. Think of zinc, right? You know, zinc is a mineral, and minerals are really unstable. We use the TRAX, the real amino acid chelates, and with the zinc in the arginate form, the chelate, is it stabilizes it. So your bioavailability goes up to about 90%, where if you have a zinc oxide, maybe 8%. So 10 times more bioavailable than commercial brand zinc.
Well, I like, the way you've explained it in the past, and that these minerals are basically rocks that your body doesn't recognize as a food or nutrition source. But when you attach it to these amino acids like they do with TRAX, then it recognizes it as a food.
Yeah, and that's really the key, is that your body needs to look at it, recognize it, absorb it, assimilate it, and excrete it.
There it is.
You know, if you think about a very common analogy would be a pair of gloves, right? So if you try and put the left glove on the right hand, it almost fits, but not quite. So these minerals actually have to match up exactly and be a mirror to the cell so the body absorbs it like a protein, and that you'll get the maximum bioavailability you need. And we didn't stop there. I love the combination of elderberry. We sell it in the wellness center.
Yes,
right? Zambucas.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely, in many forms. And it had to be involved in here because it's one of nature's natural antiviral agents. Very effective.
Bromelain, a great enzyme, really help with inflammatory responses, swelling, right, and immune system function. So all great things in the Aromax. We have options for you, Joe. So capsule or chewable? Let's hear it.
Oh, I'm going to go with chewable anytime I can.
All right, so I'll go chewable too. What's your favorite flavor?
So with the Aromax, strawberry. No doubt.
You are a little sweeter. I'm a little more sour, so I do like the citrus, so it makes sense. But we have options, folks. What about kids? Are they safe for kids, Joe?
They are kid approved, kid tested, and kid safe, Jamie.
Yes. So very safe and effective. You want a capsule, we have it. We have it in chewable, different flavors for you to try out. Yep. And very effective,
Yeah, I mean, within 15 minutes with a lot of
30
people,
minutes.
right?
There's something called the Aromax Challenge.
Sure
Are you
is.
familiar with the Aromax Challenge?
I am familiar with the Aromax Challenge.
Who invented the Aromax Challenge?
Oh, the one and only, the GOAT, Mikey G.
Oh, I thought it was, Mikey, huh?
Yeah, Mikey, you got to give him his prop.
Of course. So he had a great idea. So let's hear the Mikey G, the Aromax Challenge.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how he came up with this, but it works.
Well, it's clinical research.
Clinical research, right. So all you have to do is get 2 of the Aromax chewables and take notice of your breathing pattern before you eat them. Chew these chewables, wait 15 minutes, and see if your breathing, whether you're sick or healthy, has improved a little bit. And so far, we have had 100% success rate.
Especially people that didn't think they had any breathing issues.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So it reminds me of a lot of our formulas that you don't think you have an issue till you try it. And it's like, feeling better. So the other one we like to look at, of course, is the Buffered C Plus capsules. You talk about vitamin C and the benefits. Most vitamin C's on the planet are actually available, and they're derived from corn, which doesn't mean they're bad. But to get the purest form, you actually need to derive it from acerola from cherries. Then we buffer it so the body can actually absorb the vitamin C. It's in a veggie cap. So really safe and gentle on the gut, highly bioavailable, and no allergy potential.
Right, none at all. I mean, vitamin C is so essential. It's one of the building blocks of glutathione in the body, your body's master antioxidant, and it's one of the super antioxidants. It'll break that chain of free radical damage and just increase antioxidant activity.
Yeah, and we have the straight D3 or some of the other ones we talked about before. And then we started to get into some of the immune formulations, right? Great thing about this is that you're going to get a therapeutic effect. Right? It's not enough to take one ingredient anymore, elderberry.
No.
It's not enough, folks. So we actually use DMG in here. I love the PD maitake fraction in the mushroom.
Yes.
Talk about why that PD fraction, which is so, bioavailable, right? Why that over many other mushrooms that are available?
It's one very simple reason, Jamie, and that's for the body's ability, like you always say, to assimilate it, to absorb it. The PD fraction is the smallest molecular weight available of this extract. And that's important because normally it's too large of a molecule for your body to actively and to utilize it effectively.
Yeah, we have the ACEs too, right?
Sure do.
Vitamin A, C, E, and selenium. Those are the foundations for any immune support. And, D3, zinc, DMG, elderberry. This is all in the chewable form of the Immunomax. What about for kids?
Absolutely incredibly safe and effective for kids.
Well, let's watch one of our brand ambassadors, Jacqueline Shedden. Let's see what her kids say about Immunomax.
Can I have Immunomax?
What do you want, honey?
Immunomax.
Why do you want it?
I want it.
What is it that you want again?
Immunomax.
Okay, I'll get you some Immunomax, okay?
Mommy, can you get the container and can I get it?
Yep.
I think
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I think we're going to need to get a kid's version and rename it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Immunomax.
Immunomax.
Right? Yeah. And then we had Dr. Lori Roman. She's a great doctor of pharmacy down in Tampa. And she was looking at a couple formulations like, can we put these together? I said, well, we could. We actually have it in our kit.
Right.
Because I wanted one bottle. So what did we do, Joe?
We took all 5 bottles in that kit and condensed it into one bottle.
Yeah, that's called the Immune Boost.
That's right.
It's safe and effective. You can do it as a preventative 1 a day. And therapeutically, you can go to 5 to 10 a day, as much as you need. Because super safe. We have some of the key ingredients that we like, of course, D3, zinc, DMG, some PRTs, quercetin, NAC, and a very interesting form of liposomal vitamin C from Pure Whey. Let's hear about why in a liposomal form.
Well, in a liposomal form, it gives you a little bit more boost in the absorbance capacity of the vitamin C. Because your cell has a membrane that's fat, inside it's water, you have to make sure that you get every part of that cell using that vitamin C. Yeah,
it's been really promising research. I love that combination with quercetin and NAC, right? There's been a tremendous amount of education about those two ingredients, especially during the COVID years, of how beneficial they could be. In fact, NAC was an over-the-counter prescription years ago, right?
And then, it works with vitamin C as the precursor to glutathione.
And it really helps with the lung, the mucus production, the deep breathing, right? So great ingredient. It's been over the counter now for years and as a nutraceutical and very safe and effective. So some of the other things that we can look at if we want to do a little more advanced immune or allergy protocol, we'll be adding in some of these other ingredients because we're seeing that the incidence, right, of allergies is at its highest level, right? And it's not only food allergies, environmental allergies, but we feel that it's really synergy, right? 1 + 1 can equal 5 or 10 or 100. When you start to look at, are they vaccinated? What's their diet look like? Are they getting a lot of foods that have toxic chemicals in it? Are they ingesting a lot of foods with hormones in it, right? The body can only take so much, right? And what they're finding, what you eats determines how healthy you are. So let's hear that a little bit more, Joe. Tell us about what that means.
Well, you have to look at the source of the things you're eating, right? Like you said, what your food eats. So a great example of that is grass-fed beef products. When a cow's natural diet is grass, not corn, right? Not grains, but grass. And when that happens, there are multiple nutrients that then transfer to us when we eat those products. That's the best example I could think
Yeah,
of.
so if the fish is being fed corn and soy and injected with antibiotics and hormones, they found the fish will be fatter, but it's not the good fat. It's a pro-inflammatory fat. So when you ingest this, folks, it will make you more inflamed. It will challenge your immune system. An overworked immune system, it can't handle the toxic load, Joe. It's not just the toxin, it's the load that you're exposed to.
Right.
And, as your immune system becomes more compromised and your diet or your lifestyle, your environment, you ingest more of these chemicals, it's a perfect storm.
Always, it is a perfect storm. So we have to combat it with the most powerful protocols we can come up with. Someone might say, you have DMG and all these formulas. Why do you add it as a separate?
You may need to.
You may need to. I mean, the high level dosage up to 2,500 milligrams was for cancer patients. So that is that's the highest immune category you can get.
Yeah, and Dr. Bob always says you have a big challenge, you need a big therapy.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So the first thing you got to do is you got to reduce your exposure, especially these pro-inflammatory allergy potential foods. So let's hear some of the highest rated risk factors for foods. I would say number one, dairy products.
Dairy's number one. There's no doubt about it. But then you can go to poultry, you can go to eggs because they're feeding them an unnatural diet.
All right,
they're
so let's slow down.
them.
All right,
right?
one at a time.
Oh, okay.
So we have dairy products. That includes milk, cheese.
Yes.
Creamers are probably the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Ice cream, yogurts, all those types of foods, folks. Now, if it was organic, it would be slightly better. But what are some options they can use instead of cow milk?
Well, instead of cow milk, you have actually, there's a lot of options right now. Used to be that there was coconut milk, the only option. And that's great. I love that one. But now you have oat milk as well. You have almond milk as well, right? So you have all of these nut milk options that you can use in place of dairy milk. And like you said, Jamie, if you're going to use it, make sure it's USDA certified organic.
Yeah, there's plenty of options
The
these
very
days.
least.
Coconut, almond, rice, oat. I always like something unsweet, right? You can utilize those. You have a lot of different choices nowadays. There's no reason. A lot of people say, well, I've always eaten this, right? What do you say?
Yeah, that's probably why you're sick.
It's caught up to you, right? The other thing when people say it runs in my family, it's because you eat the same foods, live in the same environment.
Exactly.
So we got dairy products. You're talking about commercial brand meats like chicken, right?
Yeah.
Beef. Why are those an issue?
They're an issue because they're not just fed an unnatural diet, they're injected with antibiotics. What is that going to mean? Well, that means that's going to transfer to you too. So that's going to depress your immune system even more.
So the story starts to, get to the point where everything's like a snowball.
Oh,
right?
yes.
You're starting to build up this momentum with the toxic foods, the allergens, the medications, the vaccinations.
Sure.
And now you're at the point, Joe, where it's almost impossible to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stop what you're consuming and change the environment. So the junk food's the worst. We know that these foods that are injected with hormones and antibiotics are not good for you. There's plenty of options these days. One of the best things is when Whole Foods came out, because all the other grocery stores sharpened their pencil and raised their game. So no shortage of these foods. So grass-fed beef would be good, organic chicken.
Grass-fed beef is great. Pastured. The word you want to look for poultry and eggs is pastured. Okay, because that means that they're allowed to eat their natural diet, worms, insects. They might supplement it, but they're out there eating their natural diet. One of the worst things that I've seen, Jamie, is salmon. These farm-raised salmon are some of the most toxic fish out there, and tilapia is
Farm-raised,
right up there.
wouldn't that be better?
You would think that word
It sounds
farm,
like
right?
they even have the picture on
Yeah.
it. Around
Oh,
here
yeah.
sometimes it's the Amish, but farm-raised salmon. So what's the issue with that?
That means they're in a confined area. They're being fed a food source, not allowed to eat their natural food source. And because they're in these confined areas, they tend to get sick. So there's drugs, antibiotics, all these things involved. So farm-raised salmon is one of the most toxic foods.
Yeah, so folks, when they eat that food, they become fatter, right? Not the good fats. And people the same way. You become inflamed.
That's right.
So that's why it's really imperative to your health, not just your weight, not just your allergies, not just your immune system, but overall optimizing and maximizing your health, Joe. It's really important to get on a good foundational lifestyle program.
You know, Jamie, you do this presentation about how to read labels. I think it's time for you to maybe update it a little bit with some of these foods that people think are healthy.
Oh, thanks, Joe. You give me homework?
There you go.
Hey, well, I got plenty of time on my hands, so I might as well get it done. No, we're on a mission to make the world healthy. I would love to do that. It'd be a great topic for us to hit down the road because most people don't know.
That's right.
They're not choosing to be unhealthy. The deck is stacked against them.
Oh, yeah.
It's really challenging now between the stress people are under, right? The constant pressure to get from school to work to the kids' game to the play to the concert, right? You know, both parents are working. You have less and less meals being consumed at home, let alone even cooked at home, right? So it's a recipe for a disaster, folks. We're here to help you. You can go right on nutritionalfrontiers.com. We have all the food programs right on there. We have all the solutions, you know, plus a hotline of healthcare professionals throughout the country. We can connect you with that. You can go there live or do a Zoom with them.
Absolutely. I mean, all the resources are at your fingertips, and that's at one website, nutritionalfrontiers.com.
Well, thanks, Shar. I learned a lot about the immune system and also allergies. I really appreciate you sharing some of your words of wisdom from all your experience now. Thanks so much. It's going to be really cool and exciting Q2 2024 as we prepare for the beach, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
So it's time to get our bone joint inflammation good. Now we're working on our immune system allergies. And then we're going to show some long-term rewards and your risk factors for cardiovascular disease on our next episode.
Yes, the single most important one in my eyes.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate all the support. Let's have a great spring and summer, and God bless.